All right, so we're back at it with another video here. This is a leg day with Steve. We ran my leg day that I have typically on Fridays, which is very quad dominant, but Steve, he swapped out one exercise for hip thrust so he could still hit a little bit of that movement pattern in this day. So we started out with the leg press, and then while he was hitting the hip thrust, you'll see I hit my lateral raises because I actually have lateral raises on this lower day. So I have 2 lower days per week. I have one that is a little bit more glute and hamstring biased, and then I have one that's a little bit more quad biased. Like this one is very heavy on the quads, but it does have a little bit of lateral raises, abs and calves as well. So yeah, you'll see kind of as we go through this workout the different exercises that we're doing. It's a really fun day, very challenging. We got the quad focused leg press, then we got the lateral raises, then we got leg extensions with partials, sissy squats with partials, and then some abs and calves. So you'll see that come up, but this is just me doing some lateral raises first. This is around mid 170s body weight now in this video. So yeah, looking forward to seeing what another 10 pounds off this looks like as well. So let's hop into some of the other clips here. Steve, let's do this.
Machine, aka quad extension. Such a humbling exercise, isn't it?
Oh yeah. I think let's go to the plate loaded one because it's
that much harder?
Yeah, exactly. You know me. So keep it rocking. We'll keep going.
They really need a back entrance out of this place for us to roll out of here.
Yeah, this one right here. This one hurts. This one hurts a lot. Are you excited or what?
Always excited.
Okay, good.
Always excited for some pain. Well, they don't even put numbers on these, so you know them. They're very quiet, so you don't know how much you're lifting.
I'll show you how to do the partials after, but big squeeze, come down, big stretch. Oh yeah. All the way down, yeah.
I already feel it, I'm just warming up. Oh yeah, this is gonna hurt. Put myself in. Big squeeze all the way down. Nice big stretch.
You always want to think about pointing your toes like towards or just slightly up. Alright, there we go. Okay, so this is the quad extensions. Now we have 2 sets and partials tagged on in the lengthened position at the end. So it's pretty painful, to be honest. I think I was just trying to figure out what weight I want to use this because this is a different machine than I usually use, and this one is very challenging. It has a very big emphasis on the bottom portion of the rep. In terms of the strength curve, it's much harder at the bottom of the rep, so it makes it very painful, and it's perfect for those lengthened partials that we have at the end of the movement, or at the end of the set, sorry. So this is my first set here, and I'll let this kind of play through. And then we have Steve up here next. What I was saying to Steve is really focusing on getting that full stretch at the bottom and coming up and driving your toes towards you. You typically get a better contraction. There's also been studies showing that you get a little bit better activation in your rectus femoris, the middle of your quad, the muscle that runs in the middle of your quad, if you lean back slightly as well. So instead of being hunched over on your quad extensions with like the pad pushing you way up, try to have the pad a little bit further back so you can lean back slightly and make sure that you're really pulling yourself in with the handles so that you can keep yourself super stable. Whenever you can increase stability in a movement, it's always a really good idea. So we're pushing Steve hard on here. He's got his Team Truth hat on, gotta love it. And let's show a few more reps of these sets here. All right, so now you can see we have Sissy Squats up next. These are very, very challenging, and this is a newer movement for me. I threw these in at the end of my bulking phase, and then my coach has them in as well on this day. So very quad dominant. The goal here is to stay on the balls of your feet and really drive your knees forward, so getting tons of what we call knee flexion. And the main mistake I see on this one is that people break at the hips. So you want to keep your hips forward the whole time, slightly leaning back, and keep your glutes engaged. Keeping your glutes engaged the whole time is really gonna help you keep that hip position, because if you lose that hip position, then you're gonna really take all the tension off the quads. So I just have a little bit of a brace on the side with my hand just for balance perspective. And this is my first set, but I've progressed at these for a while, so I'm actually gonna add weight onto my other sets, which you'll see in a second. But yeah, this is a great movement, not a beginner movement, I would say. They're very challenging, and especially if you have like knee issues, then maybe you might not want to do this. But yeah, it's a great quad burner, and these ones are actually taken to failure, and then we have partials tagged on at the end. So a painful set nonetheless, but a really good one. So I'll let this clip play out. And then we had cable crunches to finish things off. This one, the main mistake I see is people just moving at their hip joint versus actually curving the spine. You want to get tons of spinal flexion, which means trying to bring like your chest down towards your hips, breathe all your air out, and try to crunch the abs on top of each other. Don't just move at the hip, really have to have that spinal flexion. One of the only exercises where I'm going to recommend having that curvature in the spine here, because that is the main role of the rectus abdominis, to do spinal flexion or to curve at the spine. So that's a really good one. Underrated movement. It might take some time to get it down, but I highly recommend trying it out. The cable crunch there. So we had these. Steve is looking good. And then we have our calf raises here. And these calf raises are with a 3-second pause in the stretch position. So we're trying to drive our heels as forward as much as possible, trying to drive our heels forward as much as possible, get a deep stretch for 3 seconds, and then come up all the way onto the tippy toes. So we have 2 sets of the cable crunches with partials, and then 2 sets of the calf raises with 3 seconds at the bottom, and then partials tagged on as well. Jeez, that was a mouthful. All right, let's get into the interview. All right, let's have a little bit of a chat here. So obviously we've been doing a lot of discussions through the podcast about how things are going, but I want to dive a little bit deeper into like your perspectives on like what prep means to you and what you get out of prep as like a person, and like why do you even do prep? Because like obviously your dad, your husband, you have like a shift working type job, which makes things a little bit tougher. And sometimes things are demanding, and the sleep schedule might not be ideal. We know that like during prep routine, sleep schedule, and different things like that are super important, and having a pretty cool routine is super important. So like, what makes you still want to do it? What makes you still want to do it even though you're juggling kind of those types of things?
Well, I think like prep means for what it means to me. I think it's getting to that structure. Like I miss that from high school. I had a coach that laid out the whole. We had a season, a race. There was a season. It was structure. It was purpose. You had short-term, long-term goals. You had next year plans. Like there's a lot of that. And once you stop doing that, you just sit. You're like, I don't know what I'm going to do. You dabble in a few things. So this is kind of giving me a little bit of purpose outside of everything else that you mentioned, right? Like work is work. I do that because I have to. And then the family life, I do everything I can for that, and being a dad and being a husband and all that is definitely good. It motivates me to keep going because I've said it before, like I use my family as motivation. I want them to see that, especially the kids, I want them to see that you can struggle. This isn't easy. There's a purpose. We can put our effort into it. You have bad weeks, you have good weeks. You can be cheering in the basement gym for PR, or you could come trudging out of there feeling like a load of garbage because you just don't have it in you that day. And yet you still have to do everything else. Like this is a want. Work is have to. Parenting is have to. Being a spouse is a have to. Now I enjoy 2 out of 3 of those.
We won't say which one.
But like I have to do that, and I enjoy doing that. This one is a want. This at the end of the day, it's me, right? Why I'm doing it this time is because last time we just stumbled into it because I turned 40. I wanted to try one more time to see if I can improve with a specific long-term plan. So I was hoping, and I'm hoping that by the time we hit April, May, or we get to stage day, I can look at the one from last year, the one from this year, and say, wow, we've put in the work.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's a process. It's a hard one. It's a little bit easier now with the routine, and yeah, the sleep schedule is obviously a problem with me with my line of work. I make it work. Yeah. We talked with Amy in the last session about how my schedule and my routine is a bit different than what you guys do, and what other people that may do it 9 to 5, or people that maybe they've got maybe they got the mornings free, but then the afternoons are all hectic, right? So it's a routine. I look at it as a week long. Every week is a week. Yeah, it's not one day. Yeah, I take it week by week, and I have the things I'd like to get done, things I have to get done, and I just push through. So
that's awesome. I like that a lot. And do you find that like most people in, I guess, your demographic and like your age group, have they kind of like let go of their health journey or fitness journey, or like are they realizing now, oh shoot, I should have been training all this time, or how do you see your age group right now?
You can say it like but like it's funny, like, you know, I work with a lot of people. I'm going to call them kids because I'm now 42. So there's a lot of people that are coming on the job at 20, 22, and they're still involved in a lot of things. But yeah, by the time you're 40, a lot of my friends it goes in waves. You know, we were all active in high school, then we got very not active in university or college or whatever, and then tried to come back and forth. And I've got a few friends that are trying to rekindle that. Some because they just miss it. Some they look down and they look in the mirror and they say, "This isn't what I remember."
Yeah.
But I find it's a big miss, a big mixed bag, anyways. Like, where I like to think, being 41, turning 42 next year, like I'm in that age where I'm still young enough that I can stay fit and prevent medical issues.
Yeah.
Like if there's high blood pressure, things like that, or cholesterol, or diabetes in your family, this is kind of a turning point. I've got a couple of friends that have gone to doctors lately, and I'm like, oh, this is out of whack, or your cholesterol's getting a little bit high, and I find this is it, because this has now realistically been 20 years since you left high school. For us, like I left high school at 18, 19 instead of 17, but it's been 20 years of whatever you've been doing. So the jobs, job stress, the life, the work life, the family life. So I think this is like I'm going to say it's like a critical turning point. Once you hit 50 and 60, it's a lot harder it's hard to do it now, but I still have 20 years before 60. So this is when, if they haven't started getting back on track or trying to do something, this is the time I say to do it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And I love talking about this a little bit more in depth and giving this kind of perspective. And we obviously had a really good leg session today. That was pretty solid.
That's why we're sitting down on stools.
That's why we're sitting. I was like, even just sitting here, like, oh my god.
Yeah.
It's like, so obviously you're at maintenance right now, and we're gonna go more diving into the weeds like in the podcast. So I won't do that in this one, but obviously we're at maintenance now, and then we have kind of like a little bit of refresh period, and then January's like really getting after it. So like, what's kind of one thing that you're really looking forward to in this next phase as we turn up the heat a little bit, and what's one thing that you're like maybe think is going to be your biggest challenge?
What I'm really looking forward to, and you and I talked a little bit about it at the beginning of the workout, is the new changes to the physique. Compared to last time to this time, is I just find the definition is showing up quicker than it did before. I'm still 168-ish, and I found I didn't start finding a lot of definition until I was in the low 160s last time. And I couldn't figure out how to do the posing because I didn't have the muscles showing to move. So I'm excited for that. I'm excited to see more of the shape that we built over the last year and a bit. In terms of the challenge, well, it wasn't easy last time, so I'm expecting it to be just as difficult. Just getting that routine, getting that kind of the dark days of low calories when it gets a little closer, but I feel that it's not worrying me as much as it did last time because we've been through it. We have so much longer to take off considerably less weight. So, I mean, really, it's just a matter of staying healthy is really the biggest concern. You know, COVID, I'm fighting the cold that my kids have brought home from school right now, and who knows what the new year's going to bring. So, just trying to stay healthy and uninjured, and that's always the big concern.
That's awesome. I love this. That's awesome. Good points. We're going to leave it at that. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I think I accidentally recorded after workout in slow-mo, so there's probably going to be a lot of stuff in this episode. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
It's on purpose, right?
Yeah, it's on purpose. So hopefully it looks epic. I also think I didn't turn on the microphone properly when I recorded some talking clips. So I'm going to piece it together. Hopefully my creative juices are flowing, and we'll figure a way to make this look like a decent YouTube video. And maybe Courtney can help me out by making...
Definitely Courtney will have to help me out pretty.
Yeah, Courtney will have to help me out. I As per usual. All right, guys, stay tuned to next episode and have a fantastic rest of your day. All right. That's awesome.